My sister walked in on my wife and I having some rough fun. Now, CPS and the police here to question my wife and children. I 43M have been married to my wife 45F for 15 years now. We have 3 kids 9F, 6F and 2M. My wife and I are kinky, we are into bondage and some mild impact play relevant. Since we had kids, we had to cut back on our playtime. Maintaining a vanilla intercourse life is already challenging with 3 kids, let alone carving the kid of alone time needed to safely engage in BDSM. About a month ago, we asked my sister 48F to take the kids for a weekend so we can have some alone time. She agreed to pick them up from our house Friday evening and drop them off Sunday night. Saturday evening, while we were engaging in some bondage and impact play, my sister starts blowing my phone. By the time I was able to answer, I had to take care of my wife's safety first. My sister is knocking our door down. We were frantic and didn't do a good enough job at hiding the rope marks on my wife's wrists. My sister says that her daughter is in the hospital, just a simple sprain while playing soccer, and she needs to go. And, we didn't notice, but she clocked my wife's bruises. The next day, she arranges some alone time with my wife, and tells her if I'm abusing her, then she will support her to report me and leave me. My wife was embarrassed, but she explained the whole thing to my sister. Then she told me what happened. I talked with my sister, and explained the situation, even if it was very mortifying. She accepted our explanation. Fast forward 2 weeks, and we get the cops and a CPS agent at our front door. There was an anonymous complaint that I was physically abusing my wife and kids. I was treated like a criminal. The kids were questioned separately, as was my wife. I didn't even think about my sister, but my wife did. She took everyone to our bedroom, showed them our toys, and even offered to show them some homemade movies if it was going to convince them. Thankfully, they believed her and then left. My wife again called my sister, who admitted to calling the cops multiple times, but when they did nothing, she called CPS and hoped that they will investigate. My wife again showed her our toys, went into explicit details I never wanted anyone to know about our intimate life, and finally my sister was convinced. She said that she was sorry, but she was only doing what she thought what was right. But I was deeply hurt that she thought that I could do what she accused me of, that she could have cost me my kids, my freedom and my job. So, I told her that I am not ready to forgive her. She says that I am that it was a logical conclusion, and that I should be happy that she is willing to go this far to protect my wife and kids. So am I the idiot? Commenter 1: It was the logical conclusion before you let her know what was going on. It was not the logical conclusion after that. Especially as there was no evidence anything was being done to the children. That part especially is fabricated. Not the idiot. Commenter 2: That's your sister? Stuff. I wouldn't forgive her either. This could have been much worse for you. Guaranteed she doesn't realize that at all. Commenter 3: Not the idiot. Tell her so are you by limiting contact with a danger, aka her, to your family, because that is what she is. You explained everything and yet she didn't believe you. What will happen next time she doesn't believe you or your wife and thinks she knows best? Commenter 4: She admitted to calling multiple times, and when that didn't work, she called CPS, meaning she has no problem escalating things on nothing but a hunch of what she thinks happens, even when you and your wife told her she was wrong. Commenter 5: Yes, you should be so thankful your sister doesn't listen to your explanation and is ready to ruin your life all on what she thinks happened. If it wasn't obvious. Commenter 6: Not the idiot. Anyone who thinks I'm a dangerous criminal is no longer welcome in my life. Anyone who calls CPS to have my kids removed from my home is no longer welcome in my life. Frankly, I would feel unsafe with my kids around someone who so easily believes I could be abusive. Who knows what else they'll talk themselves into. Your sister sat your wife down, talked to her, and still called CPS. She's not someone I'd ever trust around your kids ever again. She's going to keep going until she's proven right. Commenter 7: I'm wondering if the calls were more about the sister not liking their alternative lifestyle and not at all about the family's safety. But sister had crossed a line and would never enter my home again and would be banished from my life as well. Commenter 8: It's not uncommon for people to conflate the two. If you enjoy giving pain to your spouse, then you must enjoy giving it to your kids, or if you like to role play that, then that must mean you actually want that, which in both cases is just so far off base it can make me nauseous. Update: So, I read all the comments, but I was too emotionally exhausted to answer. Sorry about that. Some things happened since then. First, I took your advice, and went to NC with my sister and her family. I tried to go to NC just with her, but she would use her husband and kids to try and get in contact with me and my wife. We also had her name taken off the school daycare pickup list, in case she tries anything there. Second, I also took your advice, consulted with a lawyer that I ended up hiring. His advice to me was to document everything. He requested a copy of both the police and CPS reports, as well as all the texts she sent me and my wife. And lastly, he filed for an order of protection. He said that there is a small chance that it will be granted, because while she is harassing us, she is not threatening or anything. But it will be good to have it on record, in the case of any future altercations. We are also installing security cameras outside and inside the house, as just an in-case measure. Thankfully, the kids did not understand exactly what happened. My eldest even thinks that it's cool that she met a pretty policewoman, so at least no therapy for the kids. Thank you everyone, for all your advice. Commenter 1: She attempted to nuke your life. And put your kids in the system. A good 10-year timeout is in order. Commenter 2: Regarding the school daycare pickup lists, I recommend that you emphasize in per significant other and to the admins and teachers that your sister is no longer permitted near your children and may not pick them up under any circumstances. There's always that one teacher that doesn't get the message and just goes along. Commenter 3: It's always unfortunate when people can't just mind their own business. When I was in high school, some dumb girl started telling everyone I beat my girlfriend because she had a black eye. That she got in her Shotokan karate class she had been in since middle school. That she had been very proud and upfront of having a blue belt in. Although skill-wise, she was closer to purple-brown, she was just anxious about testing. Neither of us even knew this girl, she just outright started spouting off bullshit. I never even did shake it. That kind of shit can follow somebody around for years. I'm glad I moved out of that state and don't have to deal with any of those people. Commenter 4: I would investigate pursuing any legal complaints you can make against her. She admitted because the cops wouldn't do anything, she lied to CPS about you beating the kids so that someone would investigate. Even if you want to say that she didn't do anything legally wrong for reporting the bruises to the cops to investigate, there was no mention of bruises on the kids or of the kids mention anything about getting hit, so it's crazy of her to make up stuff and still think she's in the right. Commenter 5: And lastly, he filed for an order of protection. He said that there is a small chance that it will be granted, because while she is harassing us, she is not threatening or anything. But it will be good to have it on record, in the case of any future altercations. This is how I know this is a real post. They don't give those out unless there is a threat of violence. It is a high bar. I would be shocked if you got it.